What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel, and thanks for stopping by. We are here today with none other than BMX legend Bob Harro. How are you, man?
Good, buddy.
It's
Everything's great.
it's so awesome to be able to come to DirtyFest and meet some of your BMX heroes, and definitely Bob is up there as one of the people that I used to look up to as a kid. I mean, it's just amazing the journey you've had in BMX, you know, with freestyling and creating your own company. And you know, what was that like as kind of like a, you're much older than a kid when you first started?
I was a teenager when I started.
Yeah.
I was, you know, like everybody, I was a BMX, a kid racing BMX. And so I was in my teens riding, but I was drawing and doing art at the same
Yeah.
time. So always was in the creative genre is what I like to do.
Yeah.
And back at that time, I was racing motorcycles, riding bicycles, skateboarding, and all of these different things that we do as a Southern California kid.
Yeah.
And you know, had an idea, had some extra plastic from my 125 Honda Elsinore that I was racing back then as a teenager, and so that's when I had this extra plastic, and I thought, you know, I should make some plates for the bikes.
Yeah.
So I made one for my bike and one for my sister's boyfriend John, who I used to ride with all the time. So we had these two number plates, and we went to the local races, and they were a hit. Everybody was like, "Those things are cool."
Yeah.
So, and I, you know, dressed them up with contact paper that I got down from the the
I remember
building.
doing that. Yeah.
So I cut out contact paper and put the graphics on it, and a little business was born, and that's where the company started.
Yeah.
And you know, it was an opportunity for me, you know, as a young kid, you know, 17, 18 years old. All of a sudden, I'm making money.
Yeah.
Doing what I like to do. I'm in the bike business, or in, you know, the BMX business, doing that. So that was the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you like sitting there at home, literally like getting the plastic and melting it and forming it around bars and stuff?
It was a sexy story. Yes. No, we used to, you know, I was living at home with my mom and dad, and you know, we'd all be watching TV, and my parents, I would have a big sheet of 4x8 piece of plastic, and I made a cardboard template of the original number plates, and I'd sit there and I'd draw it out, you know, like lay it out on a big sheet.
Try not to waste it.
Try not to waste it. And then you know, with a Sharpie, I'd do an outline, and then we're watching TV, and I'd cut the plastic out and stack them up, and that's how I got started.
Nice.
So my parents were cool. They, you know, they didn't, you know, they didn't say anything negative about it. They just, you know, that's what he's doing. But I usually would bend the plates when mom and dad were not at the house.
Oh,
because I would do it. I would do it. I'd do it in the kitchen. I'd do it in the kitchen.
Was it above the stove?
It's just above the stove.
Wow.
A hot stove. The fire was there to heat them up, and I'd bend it over a bar, and that's how we started the business.
That's awesome.
It's about as roots as you can get.
That is, though.
You know,
yeah.
So.
But it worked. It worked.
Then later, you know, the business took off, and then I had a shop, and you know.
I mean, how old were you when you started, like with the clothing and everything, with the unis, and I mean,
it was all an evolution. You know, the number plates were the first product, and with that success, we got smart. I got smarter on how to do it and make it, and now we're die cutting things, and we're manufacturing the decals, and then later we were injection molding the number plates and the plastics. Pretty soon I had a shop of like 25 people working for me making stuff, and I was designing.
And how old
more
are you?
things. I'm
like
now
20?
19, 20.
19, 20. That's crazy.
And the shop is, you know, we're selling tens of thousands of number plates. So we're making money, and I just took the money and reinvested it back in the business. And so with that, you know, we started doing, you know, pads and grips, not grips, gloves, and what else we do? Gear bags, a lot of small items at first, jerseys and T-shirts and stuff like that. So it was all kind of step by step by step by step, and you know, eventually turned into something.
It's incredible. And then at what point did the bikes come into play? I mean,
bikes came in. I was riding. You know, I was at the same time I'm doing my little business. I'm working at BMX Action.
Yeah.
I'm a staff artist. So I was doing lots of illustrations and stuff like that. And, you know, I'm riding. Freestyle really wasn't a thing yet. That was what I was into. I was racing, but, you know, I was racing against guys like, you know, the top pros at that time, the Steve Thompsons of the world, you know, big guys. And but I was a better show off, and so I just focused on the freestyle side of BMX riding. But you know, 81, 80, 80. Well, actually, 79, 80. I was still working with BMX Action. RL and I team up.
Yeah, with that iconic
we had the
team.
first. Yeah, they had the first BMX Action trick team.
Yeah.
And then after 5 years of working at BMXA, I leave BMXA and I go out on my own, doing my own thing.
Yeah.
And I put together my own freestyle team. I rally Bob Morales. He joins me. I buy a van. I build ramps, PA system. I rally my brother who just gets out of high school, and we take off on the road and summer tour. And that was 81. That was our first summer tour. And then on that tour is where Bob and I talking about. You know, I said I think I should make a freestyle bike.
A bike.
No one was making freestyle.
Yeah.
No one was paying attention to freestyle. So that's what I did. That was the first product. So when I came back from the summer tour, I met with the Johnson family that owned Torker.
Yeah, yeah. We were just talking to them.
Yeah, they were my sponsor, and I said, hey, I want to make a BMX freestyle frame, and so they worked with me. So, you know, a lot of the roots of the Haro Freestyler came out of the Torker, the essence of what the Torker was.
With the twin top tube.
With the twin top tube.
Yeah.
But my bike was different. I had different geometry and other features, and, you know, heavy duty gussets and things like that for the tricks we were doing back then. So, no, it's all little baby steps that, you know, over the years turned into something. And so, all real humble, but it was fun.
It's amazing that, I mean, just being a teenager and what you were able to do with the business side, because it's not like you were able to go to school at the same time and learn about, you know, how to be a businessman. It's just you just jumping in there and
there's
figuring
a lot
it out.
of hard lessons too.
Yeah, I'm sure there were,
a lot of things you learn what to do and what not to do. And you know, there was things that didn't work out, and, you know, products that came up with it, you know, that weren't correct. And then, you know, I think the other thing was just you have to be innovative. You got to keep coming out. You got to keep reinventing what your brand is, and, you know, as a creative, you know, I always like to keep evolving. Yeah. So that's, even today, I have that same philosophy.
So did you design all the graphics and everything? Everything.
But I was also doing lots and lots of artwork for a lot of different brands back then.
Okay.
You know, I was working with Race Inc. I did their logo. I initiated the SE logo as well. ABA had their logo, and the American Bicycle Association helped them. I worked with Redline. I worked with Oakley. JT Racing, I did a bunch of stuff for them.
A lot of stuff for all those people.
So at the same time I was doing my line, I was doing freelance work, as well as I was a staff artist at BMX Action Magazine. So I was doing, you know, illustrations for them. So yeah, it's been a crazy ride.
And how is it now today, like years later? I mean, and then now it's kind of like, it's not that BMX ever died, but there's definitely been a resurgence with the big bike BMX. And all that stuff. How does it feel, you know, what, 30, 40 years later, and, you know, you can come to an event like this, and people like us are like, hey, oh my God, we can't believe we're
I think it's all good. I mean, it's humbling and it's an honor. It's really cool. It's nice to know that something you've done and created has meant so much to a lot of different people. And to be honest with you, when I was doing it, I was just doing what I like to do. Yeah. And my passion, there wasn't any huge mission trying to change the world. I was just following my my passion and
what you love doing,
and just just stayed focused and stuff like that. So it is a bit of a trip, but it's cool. Yeah.
And so growing up, I mean, you kind of seem like you've always been a creative person, because you also sing as well, which is,
that's it.
What else can you do? Like it's
well,
amazing.
All of that, the music side of things has come out more recently, but I've been doing music. I was a band geek as a kid in school.
Really?
So in junior high and
what
high
did
school,
you play?
I played trumpet. I was a trumpet player, and but when I became a little bit older in high school, you know, being a motocross guy is racing motorcycles and riding BMX and being a skateboarder are a lot cooler than being a band, a guy in band.
Then carrying around a trumpet.
Yeah. So, you know, but I always was into music. And so later, probably in the early 80s, you know, I was always into synthesizers and electronics, you know, electronic bands, whether it was Kraftwerk or New Order, Depeche Mode. All these bands came out, or Kraftwerk, you know, I loved all that. I loved that sound, and so yeah, I bought a synthesizer, and then I started goofing around with that, and then drum machines and all kinds of things. So, and then I started recording and had a tape machine, a 16-track tape machine at my house. But all the same time I was doing BMX Freestyle.
Yeah.
I had my business. I was riding and touring and things like that. But I was also working on music. But the music was all part. That sound was was so that 80s sound of bands and stuff was like in me, and so I wanted to know how to write that kind of stuff. So that's what
that's awesome.
So I've been stuck in a genre that I still love.
But we all love it.
Yeah.
I mean, the 80s was it was such a good time.
Yeah.
And everyone was so carefree. You know, like we would be on our bikes all day. Parents just said, just be home by dinner.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't care where we went.
No, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
And no electronics to keep us focused elsewhere.
Yeah.
You know, nothing to record our stupid stuff that we did.
Yeah.
that we all did.
We don't have to do a TikTok dance right now or anything?
No, we don't have to do it. No, we don't have to do none of that. We are beyond that.
Just checking.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. I mean, really, the stuff that you did, even though it was just something you love to do, for us, like we're, back in Hawaii, the only exposure we really had was the magazines.
Yeah.
And so every month, man, look forward to the magazines, looking forward to the drawings, and seeing you guys just doing all the tricks and everything. It was just, we just look forward to that. And we just want to thank you for everything you've done for this whole genre, this BMX and freestyling, because you really made a huge difference in a lot of our lives. And it's just been awesome. And to be able to meet you today is a highlight. We're going to remember this. Yeah, but thank you very much.
To all your viewers out there, thanks for your support, and thanks for listening to our interview.
Yeah, check out bobharo.com because there's lots of different stuff, and I've been guilty of buying a lot of stuff because I just remember, I got that drawing on my wall.
Oh man!
And
we appreciate it.
Yeah. So thanks, guys. Thanks for watching, and thank you, Bob.
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. All right, aloha.
Take care.